This field is in motion. And the gate moves onto the backstretch. First race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Saligeri and Avatardis both going out for the lead. Up on the outside, Bet You comes away third as they drive into the first turn. Avatardis draws clear. Bet You on the outside. Saligeri towards the inside, racing third. Length back. In fourth, it's Nagel, followed up by Kamani N. And true on the field, it's Prince Aston. Paddock turn the first time, rolling up on the outside. Here comes Bet You. And now Bet You takes command. Leads it by a length over Avatardist. Opening quarter on the board goes in 27-1. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Kevin Switzer Jr. has Bet You on top by a length. Avatardist right there tucked in second. Field, it's Prince Aston as they swing around the clubhouse turn. Bet You with the lead. It's Bet You showing the way by a full length. Avatardis tracking in second, underway on the outside. Racing third, advancing. Here comes Nagel. Halftime goes in 56 seconds flat. They straighten out down the backstretch. Bet You leads it by a length up on the outside. Nagel is second. Avatardis locked in towards the inside, racing third. Up on the outside, Kamani N. Towards the inside, Sailor Jerry. And still trailing the field, it's Prince Aston. They're around the fourth turn. And it's Bet You, and he's got the lead. Nagel right on the outside. 3/4 on the board here in 1:23-3. They're around the final turn. Bet You continues to lead. Nagel on the outside. Avatardis towards the inside, racing third. Up on the outside, going three wide. Here comes Kamani in. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. And Bet You opens up by two. Far outside, here comes Kamani in, gaining ground. Kamani in on the grandstand side towards the inside. Bet You, Kamani in, Bet You, deep stretch. It will be Bet You in front. Kamani in was second. Nagel third. Time for the mile, 1:52-2. Pacing the mile in 1:52 2/5. The first race is official. Here is the order of finish. Number one, Saligeri fourth, Nagel third. Avatardist was sixth. Bet You, your race winner, $. Number two, number one is Meet Me at the Finish, owned by the Law Racing Stable, driven by Bob Sumner. Number two is Lone Survivor, owned by Catherine and James Carl Smith, driven by Drew Campbell. Number three, Late Night Joke, owned by Mike Eaton, driven by Sean Gray. Number four, Spider Dragon, owned by Tom Harwood, the driver Kevin Switzer Jr. Armenian Warrior, number five, owned by Vartan Krikorian and Bill Krikorian, driven by Drew Monte. Number six, Master of Puppets, owned by Barbara Katabia, the driver Mike Stevenson. Number seven is J.J. Shark, owned by Lynn and Paul Silva, Bruce Ranger driving. And number eight, Cruisin' Virgin, owned by Steve DeVincent, Jim Hardy, and the Sulky. Lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves onto the backstretch. Second race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Lone Survivor tries for the lead. Also on the move, meet me at the finish. There goes Late Night Joke. Far outside, 4 deep, JJ Shark, followed by Armenian Warrior. Length back towards the inside, Spider Dragon, followed up by Master of Puppets. And trail in the field, it's Cruisin' Virgin. Paddock turned the first time, rolling up on the outside. Here comes JJ Shark. And JJ Shark takes command, leads it by a length. As they pace by the opening quarter in 27-1, they're in the stretch for the first time. Bruce Ranger has J.J. Shark on top, driving up on the outside to challenge for the lead. Here comes Late Night Joke, and Late Night Joke on the outside comes on to get the lead. J.J. Shark now back to second. Meet me at the finish at the pylons in third as they swing around the clubhouse turn. Fourth on the outside. There goes Lone Survivor, followed up by Armenian Warrior. Gap of 2 lanes. Spider Dragon, Master of Puppets, and trail in the field. A sluggish Cruisin' Virgin. Halftime goes in 55-2. They straighten out down the backstretch. Sean Gray has Late Night Joke on top by a length, heading toward that 3-quarter-mile marker. On the outside, Lone Survivor locked in. J.J. Shark. Armenian Warrior on the outside will have to go 3 wide. Coming up towards the inside, Spider Dragon racing in 5th. 3 quarters here in 1:24-1. They round the final turn. A Late Night Joke continues to lead with J.J. Shark giving chase, racing in 2nd. Towards the inside, it's Spider Dragon racing in 3rd. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home, and it's Late Night Joke down on the inside, showing the way. Shaking loose on the outside. Here comes J.J. Shark up the pylons. Here comes Spider Dragon with a burst of speed. Spider Dragon, J.J. Shark on the outside at the wire. Spider Dragon gets up. Time for the mile, 1:54 flat. From Harwood, trained by Elisha Lafreniere, driven to a new lifetime record by Kevin Switzer Jr. Kevin Switzer Jr. taking both ends of today's daily double. Spider Dragon pacing the mile in 1:54 flat. Seven is Beam Me Up Scotty. Owned by Gretchen a third. Matt a third driving. And number 8, Fernley Rebel Inn. Owned by Ray Ferguson. Jim Hardy in the sulky. Post time for the upcoming third race. In 4 minutes until post time. Ladies and gentlemen, looking ahead to the fourth race in race number 4, number 2, Avery Sealster is a judge's scratch. Scratch number 2, Avery Sealster, out of race number 4. Your attention, please. Here in the upcoming third race, a claim has been entered on number 1, Some Attitude. Once again, a claim has been entered on number 1, Some Attitude. Under a minute, post time less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. Pacers are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. This field is in motion. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a reformation here. Waiting on number 6, 10 beaches later, turned into the gate here. As a reminder, pari-mutuel windows will remain open until the actual start of this upcoming third race. And once again, it's post time. Horses are approaching the starting gate. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. Third race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Moonlight Artist tries for the lead. Right alongside, there goes Respectable Dream. Down inside, Some Attitude. On the outside, Beam Me Up Scotty comes away racing fourth, dropping in fifth. It's Spirit Shadow, gap of 2 lengths to Sunshine's Finest. Followed up by 10 beaches later. And true on the field, it's Fernley Rebel and Paddock turn the first time. It's Respectable Dream on top here, shown the way by a length and a half. Opening corner on the board goes in 26 and 3. They're in the stretch for the first time. It's Respectable Dream on top here, shown the way by a full length. Some Attitude right there in second. Moonlight Artist towards the inside third. Length back in fourth. Beam Me Up Scotty, followed up by Spirit Shadow. Up on the outside, there goes 10 beaches later. Locked in. It's Sunshine's Finest. And true on the field, that's Fernley Rebel in as they swing around the clubhouse turn. Respectable Dream on top here, showing the way 3 parts of a length. Advancing on the outside. Here comes Beam Me Up Scotty now second. Halftime goes in 56 seconds flat. They strain out down the backstretch. Battle up front. Down inside, Respectable Dream. Beam Me Up Scotty right there on the outside. Those two heads apart. Boxed in towards the inside, Some Attitude. Racing in third, 10 beaches later up on the outside in fourth as they round the fourth turn. Beam Me Up Scotty on the outside comes on to get the lead. Respectable Dream battles back towards the inside, 3/4 up in 1:24 and 2. They round the final turn. It's Respectable Dream hanging tough. Beam Me Up Scotty right there on the outside. Down inside, Some Attitude racing in third. They're at the top of the stretch. And turn for home. And Respectable Dream takes back the lead. Opening up here by 2. Beam Me Up Scotty far outside. Here comes Spirit Shadow. Spirit Shadow, Respectable Dream. It will be Respectable Dream in front. Spirit Shadow up for second. Beam Me Up Scotty was third. Time for the mile, 1:53 and 3. Returning to the winner's circle, number 4, Respectable Dream. A 10-year-old big gelding by If I Can Dream. Out of Respectable by Blissful Hall. Owned by the Winters Racing Stable, trained by Michael Mancini, driven to victory by Kevin Switzer Jr. Third consecutive victory here for Kevin Switzer Jr. Respectable Dream, pacing the mile in 153 and 3. Third race is official. Here is the order of finish. Number 1, Some Attitude was 5th. Moonlight Artist was 7th. Sunshine's Finest was 6th. Respectable Dream, your race winner. Spirit Shadow was 2nd. 10 Beaches Later, 4th. Beam Me Up Scotty, 3rd. Fernley Rebel Inn was 8th. Top down, 576, 1, 2, 4, 3, 8 on the bottom. Time for the mile, 153 and 3. And from the third race, number 1, Some Attitude was claimed by Connie Benetti of Attleboro, Massachusetts, John Powers of Norfolk, Massachusetts, and John Coffey of Milford, Massachusetts. Once again, number 1, Some Attitude was claimed by Connie Benetti, John Powers, and John Coffey. In the upcoming fourth race, scratch number 2, Avery Sealster. Number 2, Avery Sealster, is a judge's scratch here in race number 4. In the upcoming fourth race, there will be exacta, trifecta, and superfecta wagering. Post time for the upcoming fourth race in 10 minutes. And the horses are on the track for the upcoming fourth race. A winners over pacing event for fillies and mares. The purse $15,000. These are the pacers for race number 4. Number 1, Hilaria, owned by Ralph Anderson, driven by Mike Stevenson. Scratch number 2, Avery Sealster. Number 3, First Up, owned by the Jesmeril stable, driven by Sean Gray. Number 4, That's Incredible, owned by Joe Trice, the driver Drew Monte. Shady Secret A, number 5, owned by Grant Owens, driven by Kevin Switzer Jr. Number 6 is Woman in Gold Inn, owned by Robert Kopak, driven by Nick Raffam. Number 7, Birch Island Betty, owned by Danny Grenier, Drew Campbell driving. And number 8, The Fun Marshal, owned by Jim and David Winsky. And Stephen Michaels, Bruce Ranger in the sulky. That's your field for the upcoming fourth race. They'll be at the gate in 4 minutes until post time. And your attention, please, here in the fourth race. Number 3, First Up, is being post-paraded, but will be driven by Sean Gray. Once again, Sean Gray will drive number 3, First Up, here in race number 4. One minute post time and 1 minute. Under a minute, post time less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. The pacers are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. Horses are approaching the starting gate. This field is in motion. And the gate moves onto the backstretch. Fourth race pacers and behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Hilaria going out for the lead. On the far outside, there goes the Fun Marshal. Down inside, first up comes away racing third. That's Incredible. Will drop in fourth. A length back to Woman in Gold N, followed by Birchow and Betty. And trailing the field, that's Shady Secret A. Paddock turn the first time. It's the Fun Marshal on top. The Fun Marshal leads it by a length. Hilaria right there in second. Opening quarter on the board goes in 26-2, passing the stands for the first time. Bruce Ranger has the Fun Marshal on top by a length. Hilaria tracking in second. First up, ground saving third, length back in fourth. It's That's Incredible, followed up by Woman in Gold and up on the outside, Birchow and Betty. And trailing the field, that Shady Secret A as they swing around the clubhouse turn. It's the Fun Marshal at 5-2 on the point. Shown the way by a length. Hilaria right there, drafting along in second, up on the outside. First up, here comes First Up, racing third. Halftime goes in 55-4. They straighten out down the backstretch. It's the Fun Marshal, and she's got the lead. Moving up on the outside. First Up now second. Trapped in towards the inside, Hilaria chasing in third. That's Incredible up on the outside. Second over, racing in fourth. 3/4 here in 124 flat. They're on the final turn. It's the Fun Marshal with a short lead. First Up draws alongside those two now heads apart. Hilaria begging for racing room towards the inside third. That's Incredible. We'll have to go 3 wide, racing in fourth. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home on the grandstand side. First Up puts ahead in front. The Fun Marshal back to second through the stretch. First Up draws clear. The Fun Marshal up the pylons. Hilaria deep stretch. It will be First Up in front. The Fun Marshal was second, Hilaria third. Time for the mile, 1:53 and 1. Returning to the winner's circle, number 3, first up, a 7-year-old bay mare by Rockin' Image, out of Sand Pleasure by Cam Best, owned by the Jesmerel stable, trained by Sheena McElhiney, driven to victory by Sean Gray. First up, pacing the mile in 1:53 and 1/5. The fourth race is official. Here is the order of finish. Number 1, Hilaria third. Avery Sealster was scratched. First up, your race winner. That's Incredible fourth. Shady Secret A seventh. Woman in Gold End was fifth. Birch Allen Betty sixth. The Fun Marshal was second. Top down, a 3 scratch 1, 4 7, 5 6, 2 on the bottom. Time for the mile, 1:53 and 1. In the upcoming fifth race, there will be exacta, trifecta, and superfecta wagering. Post time for race number 5, 11 minutes. The horses are on the track for race number 5, a claiming pacing event. The purse $6,000. These are the paces for race number 5. Number 1, Zampara, owned by the Muku and Jonathan Klee Racing Stable, driven by Bruce Ranger. Number 2, Personnel Space, owned by Mike Gerard, driven by Pat Curtin. Number 3, Touch of Dragon, owned by Jerry Stratton Jr., driven by Drew Campbell. Number 4 is Ideal Chance, owned by John Coffey, Connie Benetti, and John Powers Jr., driven by Connie Benetti. I Am Golden, number 5, owned by Mike Eaton, Bob McHugh, and Robert Griffin, the driver Nick Raffam. Number 6, Burke's Bandit, owned by Lynn Silva, driven by Matt Thurn. Number 7 is Captain Coin, owned by Dominic Longobardi, the driver Greg Merton. Number 8, Major Crisis A, owned by Melvin Fink, Drew Monty driving. And number 9, Image of a Rocker, owned by Anthony Loico, Kevin Switzer Jr., and the Sulky. Post time for the upcoming 5th race. In 4 minutes until post time. 1 minute post time in 1 minute. Less than a minute post time, less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. The pacers are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Race 5 pacers lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves onto the backstretch. 5th race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Zampara sprints out for the lead. There goes Touch of Dragon. Far outside, Major Crisis A. Down inside personnel space, Captain Coin on the outside is 5th. Down inside, it's I Am Golden. Linked back to Burke's Bandit, followed up by Image of a Rocker. And true on the field, it's Ideal Chance. How to turn the first time, it's Zampara showing the way 3 points of a length. Opening quarter on the board. Goes in 26 and 4. They're in the stretch for the first time, and it's Zampara by a length. Major Crisis A is dropped into the pocket, racing in second. Length back in third, personnel space. Next in line, it's Touch of Dragon. Up on the outside, there goes Captain Coin, followed up by I Am Golden. Then comes Burke's Bandit. Image of a Rocker. Entry on the field, it's Ideal Chance. As they swing around the clubhouse turn, it's Ampara at 9-5 on the point. Major Crisis A right there tucked in. Racing in second up on the outside, first up. Advancing, here comes Captain Coin from third. Halftime goes in 55-2. They strain out down the backstretch. It's Empowered by a length. Up on the outside, Captain Coin. Major Crisis A trapped in towards the inside, racing third. I Am Golden moving up on the outside. Second over, racing in fourth, locked in towards the inside. Personnel space, 3/4 here in 1:24 flat. They round the final turn. Captain Coin on the outside. Towards the inside, Zampara. Up on the outside, 3 wide. Here comes I Am Golden. I Am Golden getting up on the outside, 3 wide, 4 deep. Here comes Burke's Bandit. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. Down on the inside, it's Captain Coin. I Am Golden from between horses. Grandstand side, Burke's Bandit through the stretch. It's I Am Golden. Burke's Bandit on the outside. Burke's Bandit, I Am Golden at the wire. They are heads apart. Time for the mile, 1:54 flat. Returning to the winner circle, number 6, Burke's Bandit. An 8-year-old bay gelding by Santana Blue Chip. Out of Twilight Lady by Arts Place. Owned and trained by Lynn Silva. Driven to victory by Matty Ice, a third. Burke's Bandit pacing the mile in 1:54 flat. Race 5 is official. Here is the order of finish. Number 1, Zampara was 8th. Personnel Space 5th. Touch of Dragon was 6th. Ideal Chance 9th. I Am Golden 2nd. Burke Bandit, your race winner. Captain Coin 4th. Major Crisis A was 3rd. Image of a Rocker was 7th. Top down 856, 92, 143, 7 on the bottom. Time for the mile 154 flat. Moving on to race number 6, no changes. In the upcoming 6th race, there will be exacta, trifecta, and 20-cent Wicked I-5 wagering. The Wicked I-5 carryover $6,358. Post time for race number 6 in 10 minutes. And the horses are on the track for race number 6, a conditioned pacing event. The purse $10,000. These are the pacers for race number 6. Number 1, Rockin' Cougar, owned by Diane Helen, driven by Nick Raffam. Number 2, American Rock, owned by Steve Zakowski Jr. and David and Christine Tebow, driven by Jim Hardy. Number 3, Bagpipe Major, owned by Kathleen Brewer and Jan Dunaway, the driver Drew Campbell. Number 4, The Busse, owned by Philip McKenzie and Ron Cushing, driven by Ron Cushing. Kiwi Tintin and number 5, owned by Charles Harrison and Frederick Barthelmess, driven by Greg Merton. Number 6, Mock Diesel, owned by Gary Mosher, the driver Drew Monty. Number 7 is Common Discourtesy, owned by Richard Knight, driven by Matt Third. Number 8, Plus One, owned by Joe Burke, Mike Stevenson driving. And number 9, Beach Chip Hanover, owned by Jeff Epstein and Stephen Gondelman. Sean Gray in the sulky. Post time for the upcoming 6th race in 6 minutes. 6 minutes until post time. One minute post time in 1 minute. Less than a minute post time. Less than 1 minute. The starter. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. This field is in motion. And the gate moves onto the backstretch. Race 6 pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. American Rock steps out for the lead. Right alongside Bagpipe Major. From between horses, the Busset. There goes Kiwi Tintin N. Down inside, Rockin' Cougar. On the outside, it's Plus One. Down inside, it's Mock Diesel. Beach Japan over. And on the field, it's Common Discourtesy. Paddock turned the first time, rolling up on the outside. Here comes the Busset. And the Busset comes on to get the lead. They reach the quarter in 28 seconds flat. And as they come by the stands for the first time, Ron Cushing has the Busset on top here, shown away by a length. American Rock is second. Bagpipe Major third. Next in line, a Kiwi Tintin pacing along in fourth, followed up by Rockin' Cougar. Then comes Mock Diesel. Common Discourtesy, Plus One, and on the field, Beach Chip Hanover as they swing around the clubhouse turn. It's the Busset showing the way. Pocket Trip, American Rock right there in second. Halftime goes in 56-3. They straighten out down the backstretch. It's the Busset on top by a length, heading toward that 3/4 mile marker. On the outside, here comes Kiwi Tintin. On the march now, second locked in American Rock, followed by Bagpipe Major towards the inside. There goes Common Discourtesy, second over in fifth. Towards the inside, it's Rockin' Cougar. Up on the outside, there goes Plus One. 3/4 here in 1:24-4. They round the final turn, battle up front. On the outside, Kiwi Tintin towards the inside, the Busset. Those two heads apart. American Rock giving chase, racing third. Common Discourtesy on the outside is fourth. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. And Kiwi Tintin takes command. The Busset battles back towards the inside, followed by American Rock. Through the stretch, it's Kiwi Tintin. Kiwi Tintin in front. Time for the mile, 1:53 flat. Five Kiwi Tintin 8-year-old chestnut gelding by Tintin in America out of Tall Blonde by Road Machine, owned by Charles Harrison and Frederick Bartholomew, trained by Scott Monjon, driven to victory by Greg Merton. Kiwi Tintin pacing the mile in 1:53 flat. Race 6 is official. Here is the order of finish. Number 1, Rockin' Cougar was 6th. American Rock 3rd. Bagpipe Major 4th. And the horses are on the track for the upcoming 8th race. A winners over pacing event. The purse $15,000. These are the pacers for race number 8. Number 1, Better's Fire In, owned by Kevin Swick, Ron Cushing, and Frank Rinaldi. The driver, Ron Cushing. Number 2 is Our Corelli Inn, owned by the VIP Internet Stable, driven by Greg Merton. Number 3, Mick Woodrow, owned by Mike Raffam and the TFD Shadewood Stable, driven by Nick Raffam. Number 4, Quick Shot, owned by Kathleen Brewer, driven by Drew Campbell. Passport to Art, number 5, owned by Elizabeth and Dice Baluto, the driver Sean Gray. Number 6, Mansom, owned by Bruce Weinstein and Alicia Lafreniere, driven by Kevin Switzer Jr. Number 7 is Odds On Lauderdale, owned by Eaton, McHugh, Griffin, and Young. Bruce Ranger driving, and number 8, Tam Major A, owned by the Jesmeril Stable, Drew Monty, and the Sulky. Post time for the upcoming 8th race in 5 minutes, 5 minutes until post time. 1 minute post time in 1 minute. Your attention, please. Number 8, Tam Major A, is returning to the paddock for equipment adjustment. Once again, number 8, Tam Major A, is returning to the paddock for equipment adjustment. Less than a minute post time, less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. The pacers are making their way back to the starting gate. Number 8, Tam Major A, is back on the track. It is now post time. Horses are approaching the starting gate. Race 8 pacers lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves onto the backstretch. 8th race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Our Corellian tries for the lead. From between horses, there goes Quick Shot. On the outside, Passport to Art. Far outside, there goes Tam Major A. Down inside, Better's Fire In. Followed up by Mick Woodrow. Length back towards the inside. It's Mansom. And true on the field, that's Odds On Lauderdale. Paddock turn the first time. Passport to Art takes command. It's Passport to Art on top here, shown the lead by a length. Quick Shot right there in second. They reach the quarter in 26 and 4. Passing the stands for the first time, it's Passport to Art showing the way by a length over Quick Shot right there in second. Better's Fire in a close at third. Our Corelli in racing in fourth up on the outside. 10 Major A locked in. Mick Woodrow followed by Mansom. And true on the field, it's Odds On Lauderdale as they swing around the clubhouse turn. It's Passport to Art with the lead. Pocket Trip, Quick Shot giving chase. Up on the outside, racing third. Here comes Our Corelli in. They're halfway home in 55 seconds flat. They straighten out down the backstretch. Passport to Art continues to lead, showing the way 3 parts of a length. Our Corelli in on the rim is second. Quick Shot pinned in at the pylons. Racing in third, up on the outside, 3 wide. There goes Tam Major A. They're around the fourth turn. Passport to Art takes them by 3/4 here in 1:22 and 4. They run the final turn. Passport to Art still with the lead. Quick Shot towards the inside. Racing in second. Shakeless on the outside. Here comes Better's Fire in. Racing in third. They're at the top of the stretch. All heads are turned for home. Down on the inside, it's Passport to Art, and he's got the lead. Gaining ground on the outside. Here comes Better's Fire in. Gobbling up ground. Better's Fire in. Passport to Art at the wire. They are heads apart. Time for the mile. 1:52 flat. Returning to the winner's circle, number 5, Passport to Art. A 7-year-old big gelding by Art Major out of Western City by Western Hanover. Owned by Elizabeth and Dice Beluto. Trained by Alicia Gray. Driven to victory by Sean Gray. That is a driving triple hat trick for Sean Gray. Passport to Art. Pacing the mile in 1:52 flat. Eighth race is official. Here is the order of finish. Number 1, Benner's Fire In was second. Our Corelli In was eighth. Mick Woodrow fifth. Quick Shot third. Passport to Art, your race winner. Manson was fourth. Odds On Lauderdale seventh. Tam Major A was sixth. Top of the program down, 285, 31, 476 on the bottom. Time for the mile, 1:52 flat. There was no winning ticket in the pick 6. Less than a minute post time, less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. The pacers are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Ninth race pacers lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. Ninth race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Beach Watch going out for the lead. Mid-pack, there goes I'm a Clown. Waves on the outside away third. A World Apart comes away racing in fourth. Far outside, there goes Mockdoro A, followed by Twin BJ's. Length back to Sports Nest. Calvin B. Andrew on the field that's looking for adventure. Paddock turn the first time, rolling up on the outside. Here comes Waves. Waves on the outside comes on to get the lead. Quarter time goes in 27-2. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Drew Campbell puts Waves on top by a length. Racing in second. I'm a Clown up on the outside. Mock Doorway towards the inside. Beach Watch followed up by A World Apart. Locked in. Twin BJ's up on the outside. Followed by Sports Nest. Calvin B. Looking for adventure at the back of the pack as they swing around the clubhouse turn. It's Waves. Long shot here at 17-1 on the point. I'm a Clown right there in second. Halftime goes in 56 seconds flat. They straighten out down the backstretch. It's Waves by a length. Towards the inside, it's I'm a Clown racing in second. Up on the outside, Mock Doorway racing third. Locked in. It's Beach Watch racing in fourth. Up on the outside, going three wide. There goes Twin BJ's. Twin BJ's moving up on the outside. 3/4 on the board here in 1:24-2. They're around the final turn, and Mock Doorway comes on to get the lead. Twin BJ's up on the outside, now second. From the back of the pack, gaining ground. Here comes Sports Nest. Sports Nest moving up on the outside, three wide. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home, and Mock Doorway is opened up by two. On the outside, here comes Beach Watch gaining ground. Beach Watch on the outside. Mock Doorway. Beach Watch is bearing down. Mock Doorway. It will be Mock Doorway holding on. Time for the mile, 1:53 and 2. The unofficial winner, number 8, Mock Doro A 10-year-old bay gelding by Mach 3, out of 3 Eagles by Falcon Sealster. Owned by Ron Cushing and Kevin Swick, trained by Heidi Gibbs. And the horses are on the track for race number 10, a conditioned pacing event. The purse $5,000. These are the pacers for race number 10. Number 1, Leighton Print, owned by Dr. Holly Guastelli and Scott Renz, driven by Scott Renz. Number 2, Mr. Wigglepants, owned by Robert Compact, driven by Drew Campbell. Number 3 is Impulse Hall, owned by Barry Farrar, driven by Ron Cushing. Number 4, Selling the Dream In. Owned by Lindsay Parker, the driver Drew Monty. Ginger Tree Will, number 5. Owned by Bill Krikorian, driven by Matt at third. Number 6, Fearless Leader In. Owned by John Dunleavy Jr. and Alan Emerson, the driver Sean Gray. Number 7, Denver Dolly. Owned by Jim Hardy and Jolene Andrews, driven by Jim Hardy. Number 8, Winning Design. Owned by Dan Tassillo Jr., Nick Graffam driving. And number 9, Popo D. On the lease to Erwin Rosenthal, Bruce Ranger, and the Sulky. Post time for the upcoming 10th race in 4 minutes. 4 minutes until post time. Your attention, please. Number 9, Popo D, is returning to the paddock for equipment repair. The starter has called for the horses. The Pacers are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Tenth race Pacers lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. 10th race Pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Mr. Wiggle Pants going out for the lead. There goes Selling the Dream In. On the outside, Ginger Tree Will. Down inside, Leighton Print. Denver Dolly on the outside, followed by Impulse Hall. Up on the outside, Popo D. Light back to Fearless Leader In. And true in the field, it's Winning Design. Paddock turned the first time. Mr. Wigglepants on the front end here, shown the way by a length. Selling the Dream In right there in second as they pace by the opening quarter in 27-4. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Drew Campbell has Mr. Wigglepants at 2-5 on top by a length. Selling the Dream In is second on the rim. Racing third, Popo D locked in. A Ginger Tree Will, followed up by Leighton Print. Up on the outside, Denver Dolly. Then comes Impulse Hall, Fearless Leader in. Trailing the field, it's Winning Design as they swing around the clubhouse turn. Mr. Wigglepants setting the tempo. Pocket Trip, selling the Dream In right there. A snug second. Halftime goes in 57-1. Off stride goes Selling the Dream In. Selling the Dream In has gone off stride. Heading toward that 3-quarter mile marker. It's Mr. Wigglepants on top here. Up on the outside. Here comes Denver Dolly, now second. Popo D towards the inside, racing third. Impulse on the outside. Trapped in towards the inside, Ginger Tree Will. There goes Fearless, leader in, moving up on the outside. 3/4 on the board here in 1:26-1. They're on the final turn. Mr. Wigglepants has been there every step of the way. Denver Dolly on the outside. Up on the outside, going 3 wide. Here comes Impulse Hall. Impulse Hall getting up on the outside, 3 wide, now second. They're at the top of the stretch. And turn for home. Mr. Wigglepants has that lead. Impulse Hall on the outside, gaining ground. Impulse Hall on the outside, Mr. Wigglepants. Mr. Wigglepants up the pylons. Popo D. It will be Mr. Wigglepants in front. Time for the mile, 1:56 flat. Returning to the winner circle, number 2, Mr. Wigglepants. An 8-year-old big gelding by Mr. Wiggles. Out of Shaney Pants by On the Attack. Owned by Robert Kopak, trained by Randy Bickmore. Driven to victory by Drew Campbell. Mr. Wigglepants pacing the mile in 1:56 flat.